What is good? What is good? Ladies and gentlemen, I am Seven Blackman, and this is The Blackman Show, a place where we can dissect the news with a little bit of 7 cents. Let's get it. P.Diddy, bad boy with the honorary degree from Howard University, whose actual talent in hip-hop is about as real as that degree. P.Diddy, you've heard about the man and his bad boy saga. As a matter of fact, you may have heard about it here on the show. Link here and in the description. But your boy Diddy has recently added a new chapter to the book of what it means to be a bad boy for life. Now, we've already learned that you must take the masters of the works of the people who you hired in order to earn royalties on their work for the rest of their lives, to create faux music supergroups that are nothing more than a drama-filled session from which very little world-moving would actually come. We've learned how to treat a lady, and lastly, we've learned how to potentially have our best artists killed. But what we have now from the diddler is a revelation that seems to put him into a whole new realm. I mean, we've got Cassie's case, which we've kind of already talked about, where she comes forward with a huge case after being separated from him for so many years, although there is already the question of the fact that she was in this relationship with him 14 years, where she kept going back and forth with him. And even though he was doing the things that he was doing to her, again, she kept coming back to him. To me, that kind of explains or shows what happens when people have power and money around you, and what you will do to have access to it. That's, to me, that's just what that says, and that's however it goes, and that to me is the same in abuse, situations of abuse where someone isn't famous as well as when somebody is, because they still have some level of power that to some degree is either respected or at least feared. So Cassie's case comes out, other people come out of the woodwork and all of that stuff, and then you have a statement from Diddy's lawyer finally saying something to the effect of, and I'll put it up on the screen for y'all, but something to the effect of, people have been trying to accuse me all my life. I had to fight, and y'all just trying to come up and get some money off of me, and that ain't right. And I ain't never did none of this stuff. Y'all know I'm better than that. I don't even do this stuff. So all of that comes out. That's the mouth service, the lip service that comes out, and then next thing you know, Diddy settles. So if you ain't do the stuff, then what you settling for? You see what I'm saying? So that already started the ball rolling in the wrong direction, because I ain't gonna lie, if I'm being falsely accused of something that heinous, something that horrendous, trust me, I'm fighting that. I'm fighting that. I'm Johnny Depp with this. Quit playing. That's what you charged me with? Where's the courtroom? Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like the Muppets do. They just, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's go. I'm on it. What are you talking about? So, like I said, so he settles the next day. Then we've already had the saga of the SWAT teams coming to his home and taking whatever they took from his home, cameras, maybe other footage, supposedly it being for the purpose of getting more background information on him to see what exactly he does have, what he doesn't have, all this stuff. Sons was temporarily accosted, but weren't charged with anything, so they were released. You know, but still, none of that looks good for the man. And now we're to the point where we've got new footage that CNN recently released, where they're showing what he did to Cassie, where it shows what he was doing with the young lady. So it's already an unknown, I guess, that Diddy would rent out the entire floor of a hotel so that way he can do whatever he's gonna do under the privacy of whatever the hell he's gonna do. However, there still are cameras in the hallways and all that, and that's where this footage comes from. For some reason, he's running down the hallway. You can see him chasing after Cassie. For some reason, somehow, the towel doesn't go anywhere. Good looks on you for that, Diddy. So you didn't want to see the Diddy dangle. She apparently had left the hotel and came back to apologize to him, and then was leaving again, I guess, and now he is to the point where he is being abusive and doing all this other stuff. It all just looks bad. You see what I'm saying? He's putting his hands on the lady, and I've seen different theories that were coming out. Like one weird theory that came out saying something about how she apparently was or had stolen some jewelry or some possessions of Diddy's, to which he was completely upset, and how, you know, and how dare you and all that stuff. And, you know, and that's the root cause of this violence that we're witnessing. I don't know, bruh. I don't know how you could. No. I mean, I get it if it's somebody you know and they stealing from you or whatever like that. Maybe. But if it's somebody I know and they stolen something from me, and I only say this because I have done it already, I would handle it a completely different way. And I'll just say that. I'll handle it a completely different way. So I just think if that's and especially considering how he's handled other things, take that how you want. But I'm just saying, when it comes to things like this, you know, wouldn't be trying to, especially when I know I'm worth a certain amount and I have a certain amount of notoriety. I'm not trying to destroy that, because I know any little thing, at least I know any little thing can damage that. Now, at the time of this happening, the hotel was obviously open, and, you know, obviously all that. Now, unfortunately, this hotel is closed since P. Diddy paid $50,000 to receive or to hold on to the footage, this footage that we're all seeing right now. But apparently, it would seem that there's been some sort of what do they call it? A statute of limitations that's been met, or that's been passed, to the point where I don't think there's any sort of ramifications that's going to happen as a result of this footage coming out. That's one thing I think I can say. And I also think because Diddy has also already settled out of court with Cassie, that she can't charge him again. They can't have double jeopardy, I think, for a case in this matter. Potentially, I don't think so. So for something like this to be released right now, I think it's more about damaging whatever people's perception of him may still be, if it was still intact following whatever happened with Cassie. And so to that end, I think that's why he recently came out with this apology that everybody's been seeing and remixing, and shout out to Amar Keys for what he did. If you haven't checked that out, I'll put a link to that, but in the description. But I'm just saying, it's just interesting what he came out with when he apologized.
Reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, go into rehab. I had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. Not asking for forgiveness. Truly sorry.
Lock his ass up. Lock his ass up. Lock his ass up. Lock his ass up. You're going to jail. You're going to jail.
Now, I just want to look at it from this perspective, right? What did he actually say, right? Who did Diddy apologize to in this? He just said, I apologize. But to who? Did he name anybody? I mean, obviously he said, you know, we see who's in the footage. We see who's involved. We've seen from the case when it was initially put out, before there was any footage, when Cassie described it all, what exactly was going on. So we knew all of that already. We've got that information. But Diddy, I'm talking to you, Diddy. Who are you apologizing to? You say you was messed up. You was at the bottom. You were at the bottom. Okay, you were at rock bottom. You was at rock bottom, but you was at the top floor of a hotel. So you wasn't at rock bottom. You know what I'm saying? You was at rock bottom, staying in a hotel in a town that you already live in. That don't sound like rock bottom to me. Maybe mentally. Maybe you were mentally at rock bottom. Maybe that's what mental rock bottom looks like. Because I've seen some people who were flat busted who didn't do stuff like that. So I don't know what your version, and for them, that was rock bottom. So I don't know, Diddy, what your version of rock bottom is, but I just know that's not one with which many of us are familiar. I'll just say that. And so you see Diddy apologizing and saying that he's done all this work with all these unverifiable ass outlets like God, and he's done some counseling. Okay, so you talk to God. What did God say? Did God say anything back? No, and no offense to anybody who believes in any religion or anything like that. I'm not trying to say it like that. I'm saying it to the extent that, hey, did God speak to you about this directly? Did God speak back to you directly about this thing, or was it a one-way conversation? You were just talking to the ether, and then you felt better after that. Because if that's what happened, that didn't do shit for Cassie or Kim or any of the other victims. It didn't do shit for anybody. So who were you apologizing to? Was this just like, see, one thing we have to realize and notice or understand in this world of social media especially is that people do a lot of things for show. Sometimes they do things for sure, but a lot of times they do things for show. So sometimes it's for show, sometimes it's for show. You see what I'm saying? So y'all that get it, you get what I'm saying. But so I just think this is one of those things that's just for show, because I think now this is just my weird thinking, right? I think if Diddy was really sorry, if he was really apologetic, then he would apologize to the other unnamed victims that already came out and made statements against him following Cassie's. So I don't know. I don't get who he's apologizing to or what this is other than just a show. I mean, why didn't you apologize to the other victims to try to get ahead of the storm that's definitely coming your way? I mean, as soon as Cassie's settlement popped up and hit the airways and the news stations and all that stuff, you saw that everybody was coming out the woodwork like, oh, me too, me too, me too, me too, me too. So if you know that's going to happen for that, what do you think is going to happen with this video? So again, for me, I just think that this is character destruction on a major scale character destruction, because I don't know what sort of legal retribution can be offered after there's already been a settlement. You see what I'm saying? So now it's just like, oh, well, cool. I couldn't release this before because we was in court, and now the court's been settled, and I'm not going to release it, but hey, friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, send that on to somebody until it's 17 degrees of separation from me, and that person is the one who releases it. You know what I'm saying? Or sends it to CNN. You see what I'm saying? So something like that taking place, I could see happening just for the sake of saying, hey, we still need to get this out because money just ain't enough. But to that end, I also wonder what's next on the horizon for him. Again, we've already had the SWAT teams coming through. We've already had the footage being released. We've already had the settlement happening. So, and then all the smaller stories coming out of the woodwork. We've had his bodyguard saying things. We've heard about what happened with Meek Mill. No Diddy. We've heard all kinds of things. What else is to take place? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. But what are your thoughts of what is to take place next in the Diddy saga? You know what I'm saying? And also, what is this a distraction from? We've seen the whole thing with Epstein, and because I at this point, it's almost looking like Diddy is the black Epstein. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's kind of only difference is he didn't have an island. So, but it seems like, I mean, they both had footage, And Epstein, we know what happened to Epstein eventually. So is that a prelude to Diddy's fate, eventual fate? You know what I'm saying? So what is that? Where do we think this train is going? That's really what I'm trying to ask. And what do you think this may be a distraction from at the same time? I don't know. I just wonder, like, is there any validity to what your boy Cat Williams was saying about 2024 being the year that truth will be revealed? like is that what he is it happening? Did Cat Williams sprinkles of magic on the year, and all of a sudden everybody got the truth serum popping out of them? Like, what's happening right now that's what's going on? Lastly, if what Cat Williams said is true, what truths are you afraid of getting out? Want to get ahead of them now? Go ahead and leave a comment if you're up for it. Peace. And I'm out.